feels like everybody's got to have an SUV these days, but not everyone needs a massive vehicle that can fit 8 people and 3 large dogs. Some people just want to feel like they're at eye level with other drivers, but they're also not on a slalom course every time they're driving through a grocery store parking lot. That is why subcompact SUVs are so popular. Because of that popularity, automakers are really investing in keeping their subcompact SUVs competitive and up to date, and that is why we are here in Maryland, just outside of Baltimore, because Hyundai has just launched the 2024 Kona. This little SUV was first introduced for 2018, and we've got a video review of that up on this channel as well. Cliff covered it when it was brand new. So if you're shopping for a used Kona or a new one, we've got info for you, and they are all available over on CarGurus.com. Both the Kona and the Kona Electric are all new for 2024, and what's really interesting is that Hyundai has designed this second generation Kona as an EV first. So instead of taking the gas-powered vehicle and cramming an electric powertrain into one version of it, they've gone the other way. Sort of a fun fact. Now, because we're here on the First Drive program, and this is my first time in this vehicle, I'm gonna focus today on first impressions and on how this new second generation Kona differs from the old one. First of all, the new Kona is bigger than the old one. It's nearly 6 inches longer, and you can really see the EV influence in the design. We've got this almost single piece looking front end where the grille is almost more body color than gap, very much like what we've seen in a lot of electric vehicles. This single long skinny headlight, which Hyundai is calling Seamless Horizon, across the front, it's very similar to what we've seen on the new Sonata, but has a very different overall effect here because the Kona also has these really triangular blocky pieces. From the side, it's got a similar profile, still that kind of oversized hatchback look with this little lip up here. That's very familiar Kona, but we also have this very obvious crease in the door. That's very familiar recent Hyundai design language. You can definitely tell that they're going for a sleeker look with this new Kona though, the way that the windows are kind of narrowed. They kick up a little bit here. The black body cladding, that sort of belies the sleek look a little bit on this limited trim. The old one had black body cladding too, but this is a lot more of it. It's almost getting a little wild back here. Really serves to emphasize the angular elements of the new design. Again, we've got a single narrow light bar dominating the Kona's look at the back. LED headlights, taillights, and DRLs are now standard, and the wheels are an inch bigger for each trim. You now get 17-inch wheels for the base SE trim, 18s for SEL, and 19s for N-Line and Limited. It used to be 16, 17, and 18 with 19s as an optional upgrade. Design-wise for the wheels, they've done that thing that Hyundai is just doing with all of their wheels now. Personally, I preferred the 5-spoke design of the old, smaller Kona wheels, but I do have to give them respect for getting this in line with the rest of the Hyundai stable. The inside looks pretty different for 2024, largely because of this new curved display and the new floating interior theme. The center stack used to be parallel to the front end, but it's now driver-oriented, and the controls, the dash, the air vents, they all look sleeker and more modern. Seating surfaces are now cloth for SE and SEL trims, a leather and suede combo for N-Line, and Hyundai's H-Tex leatherette for the Limited trim. Last year, the N-Line came with sport cloth and Limited came with leather-trimmed seats, but N-Line is now following in the Kona N's footsteps. Heated front seats become standard with the N-Line trim, or you can get them with the convenience package on SEL, and you now get a heated steering wheel and ventilated front seats with the Limited trim. Neither of those things were even options for 2023, so that's a significant upgrade. And another really significant upgrade is the space. This is bigger than the old Kona. We've got 3 inches more legroom in the rear seats and a ton more cargo space at 25.5 cubic feet with the rear seats up and 63.7 with them down. That cargo number is about in line with the Toyota Corolla Cross, but we have a full 6 inches more of legroom back here in the Kona. Now, that said, while I'm back here, it is worth noting that the rear seat vents are sort of a premium feature on the Kona lineup. They're only offered starting with the SEL trim, but at least we do have 2 USB-C ports back here as well as 2 up front standard. As part of that interior redesign, the shifter has been moved. It used to be a lever down here. Now it's a stalk up here on the steering column. We'll put it into drive. Bing. and off we go. N-Line and Limited trims get paddle shifters, which also come with a convenience package on the SEL trim, but you're not going to get the turbo with that package. The 1.6 liter Turbo 4 is reserved for the top two trims. It makes 190 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque, and it comes with an 8-speed automatic. In the previous generation, it was a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. The base 2-liter 4-cylinder, meanwhile, makes 147 horsepower and 132 pound-feet of torque, and that comes with a CVT. Hyundai calls it their intelligent variable transmission. It's essentially a continuously variable transmission. So I'm driving the Limited trim, so the top one with the turbocharged engine, and I wouldn't call it overpowered by any means, but it's got plenty of pep. I've got the ability to speed up when I need to. I didn't have any trouble merging onto the highway or keeping up with traffic. We're out on some nice windy roads outside Baltimore right now, but we did start in the city in a pretty tight, sort of narrow-laned area with, you know, normal city traffic nearby, people parked, we had to get around, and it really gave me a chance to see how maneuverable this vehicle feels. The steering is responsive, I have no complaints about it, and although it looks rather large from where I'm sitting, it's not. It's a perfectly small, comfortable, usable SUV. It's really easy to drive in a city, which I appreciate. When we were on the highway, I did notice that the steering assist as part of the lane keeping, lane centering was really good. It stuck with the lane, it knew which lane we wanted to be in, even when we were merging, which is not true of every system. So I did find that impressive, very helpful. I was able to kind of go like this and let it take the wheel for a little bit. Not that you should keep your hands off, but it's nice to know that the car will manage it successfully without too much input from you. It's not a huge surprise because Hyundai is known for really good driver assistance tech, but it's nice to see in action in this entry-level car. As you know, this is the very first time that I'm driving this car, so these are absolute first impressions, and I've just got into it about half an hour ago, so very much first impressions. A lot of times I'll say in my reviews, you know, this is kind of annoying, but it might not bother you when you live with the car for more than a week. So far, I haven't come across anything that I would say you'd need to get used to, or that, you know, you might not notice because you're not hopping from car to car, but I notice. It's all pretty comfortable, confident, a very normal driving experience, which I think is very much appropriate for the class. There's not anything that I would think the average shopper is going to dislike about driving this vehicle. So, as I said, we're in the turbo, and I would say I'm stepping on it. There's a little bit of lag there when we're trying to speed up from a stop or from a really slow crawl. I can't speak to how the base engine feels, at least in the new Kona, but as I said, not overpowered, certainly good enough, just a little bit of lag when you're trying to speed up. Front wheel drive is standard, which is very typical for the class, but you can add all-wheel drive to any trim of the Kona for $1,500, and if you do that, you'll get snow mode as well. Hyundai says the gas-powered Kona will get 26 miles per gallon city, 32 highway, and 28 combined with front-wheel drive, or 24 city, 29 highway, and 26 combined with all-wheel drive. The Kona EV, for reference, is supposed to get 197 miles of range with its base 48.6 kilowatt-hour battery, and 260 miles of range with the larger battery that comes on the SEL and Limited trims. So this open concept that we have, the floating theme in the interior, the execution from the driver's seat is interesting. I like that there's a lot of storage space here. I can totally see myself putting my wallet, my keys, my water bottle, tossing everything right here and then knowing where it is, which is important for me. But for someone my height, at least, I'm sitting so far forward, I'm 5'1", 5'2", there isn't anywhere to put my arm. I have to kind of lean back around this bolster, which is a little bit weird, and frankly, it just looks kind of strange visually. I'm not used to having this all open. I think it'll be convenient if I were going to live with this vehicle. I just have to get used to doing this. Hyundai is known for packaging generous amounts of advanced driver assistance and safety tech into even its entry-level vehicles. So for 2023 for the Kona, they made safe exit warning, blind spot collision avoidance, and rear cross traffic collision avoidance standard. And now for 2024, they've added even more features to the Kona lineup. That includes newly standard high beam assist, and adaptive cruise control is now standard on N-Line and up. Hyundai has also added blind spot monitor and surround view monitor to this top limited trim. A 12.3-inch infotainment display is now standard across the Kona lineup, which is a significant upgrade over every trim from last year, and a Bose premium audio system now replaces the Harman Kardon sound system for the N-Line and limited trims. You do still get a 4.2-inch driver information display on the two lower trims, but the two higher ones, you're going to get dual 12.3-inch screens in this combined curved display. The Kona still has standard wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto for the two lower trims and wired for the two higher trims for now. Wireless is coming with an over-the-air update later for every trim, which is great news and definitely something new for the Kona lineup. In the meantime, the trade-off as you sacrifice that wireless connectivity is that you get wireless charging as well, plus a Wi-Fi hotspot with the convenience package or the N-Line and limited trims. So for me, that means that I'm just going to have my phone plugged in anyway, right? Because I'm going to be using CarPlay. Therefore, I'm probably not going to be using the wireless charging pad. But what about you? Do you use wireless charging when you have it in a car? Let us know in the comments. Hyundai's Blue Link is now standard across the lineup, and it's now included for the lifetime of the vehicle, so no more temporary included subscriptions. The new Hyundai Kona is still under $25,000 and now starts at $24,100 for that base SE trim to be exact, and we're looking at more than $30,000 for the N-Line or for that top limited trim. That makes the whole lineup noticeably pricier than even the final year of the last generation, but I'd say it has a right to be. It's got bigger screens, more safety tech, and frankly, more car since it's all around bigger than it used to be. And it's got a lot nicer, especially that limited trim with the heated steering wheel and the ventilated front seats. What else can you get with ventilated front seats for under $35,000? That right there is a luxury feature. Speaking of luxury features, that convenience package that I mentioned about 1 million times today is $2,200, and that's going to bring you with SEL and the convenience package to right around $27,000. You're still going to have that larger driver information display, heated front seats, adaptive cruise control, highway driving assist, nav, a Wi-Fi hotspot, wireless charging. That's a lot of comfort and convenience in one youthful, funky, and affordable package, which is going to make this a pretty great choice for a lot of shoppers. Now, of course, if you're considering this, you'll also want to look at some competitors like the Nissan Kicks, the Toyota Corolla Cross, the Subaru Crosstrek, and the Honda HR-V. Just make sure that you look carefully at feature availability and at things like all-wheel drive, because they are not all going to have everything. But you can find them all, as well as all the information you need to choose between them, over on CarGurus.com. Please subscribe to this channel before you head over there, and check back soon because we will be driving something else next week.